Hello everyone, this is impaKt, and today I'll be talking about something that pretty much changes every single game: who you should poke during the laning phase. You may be thinking something on the lines of, well, you should focus the AD carry, and you wouldn't be wrong at all. By poking the AD carry, he'll be forced to use his potions or to stay back. If you do this often, you'll soon start to lose farm or just go back to the base for regen. A common misconception is that you should always try to finish off your opponents when playing a poke lane. Sometimes it's actually better to just keep your enemies from backing while keeping them zoned out. If you kill someone, he will indeed be forced to regen because he'll respawn. However, if for some reason your enemies seem reluctant to go back while being zoned, you should try and keep the status quo. That way, your AD carry will get a lot more advantage over his enemies than he'd get with a single kill. Poking the enemy AD carry should indeed be your primary focus, but it may prove somewhat difficult at times. Poking a champion with a lot of range like Caitlyn or a escape mechanism like Ezreal may lead you to misposition or take a lot of harass just for attempting to poke. You shouldn't forget that about the enemy support either. Most supports have a lot of early game damage, and after patch 3.14 they'll even scale better. All in all, there are a few things that you should consider when picking your targets. 1. Check the enemy's resistances at level 1. One way to choose your target is by checking out magic resistance and armor stats. This way, you'll know what runes and masteries your opponents are running. If the enemy AD carry went for more AD instead of MR or armor, then you should make him pay for it. Same thing applies to the enemy support. 2. Identify the target with the most lane presence. You want to make the lane as comfortable for your AD carry as possible. If the enemy duo lane has a Leona for instance, and you actually poke her really heavily at level 1, then she probably won't get near you anytime soon. This way, you actually reduce the chances of getting engaged on. Plus, the enemy AD carry won't be able to play as aggressively because he's pretty much in a 2v1 situation. By doing this correctly, you can start by zoning out your opponents early on even. 3. Always look for overextended targets. Try to imagine a circle around each champion. If the circles are crossing, then their positioning is alright. They're close enough to protect each other. However, if for some reason those two circles become apart, then chances are they won't be able to position or damage you if you decide to go for poke. This is pretty much the perfect opportunity to actually deal damage to the closest enemy, and your AD carry should also help out in this regard. 4. Summoner spells. If an enemy's flash is down, for example, he'll have to play a lot more carefully. You can actually focus your damage on that champion so he has no choice but to stay back, thus losing all of his lane presence and hurting his AD carry's ability to CS safely. On the other hand, if the enemy AD doesn't have barrier, then the same logic applies. 5. Skill sets and cooldowns. Pretty much the same logic as in point 4. If Caitlyn doesn't have her E, if Ezreal doesn't have Arcane Shift, or even if Graves doesn't have his dash, you can be sure that they won't dodge your spells and that you can actually go for extended trades. With that being said, focusing the AD carry with your poke isn't always the best option. I do need to emphasize something though. If you choose to poke or engage on the support, you need to be sure that there won't be any retaliation from his AD carry. If you're burning cooldowns on a support, you need to make sure that he either dies or that the trade is really beneficial for you, because otherwise his marksman will just keep damaging you and your AD carry, and it can very well end in a lost trade or worse. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm going to be talking about bot lane synergy soon, and how you can actually improve the synergy between you and your fellow AD carry, so make sure to stay tuned. Make sure you also follow my stream at twitch.tv/impaKt, or just by clicking on the icon that you're seeing on your screen, as I'll be streaming every single weekend with my AD carry and doing giveaways pretty much every day. As always, feel free to thumbs up and comment if you enjoyed the video, to like my Facebook page, Twitter page, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and to base Desires channel if you enjoyed the soundtrack. Hope the info helps you out guys, and see you next video.